and friends. A little bit of housekeeping before we start practice today. Our opening warm-up sequence is going to include a pretty deep hamstring stretch. So I am using a strap. If you want to grab a strap, a kitchen towel, a tie, anything that is within hand's reach for you to be able to kind of make your hamstrings have a little bit more space in the warm-up, that might be nice to do. We are spending our practice today talking all about a very simple idea that is at the very root of yoga philosophy, which is the idea of being where your feet are, which is really another phrase or turn of language that speaks to being in the present moment. The Yoga Sutras themselves, written by Patanjali, begin with the word atta, which translates to the word now. Which is, again, this call to the present moment, to being where your feet are. So we are getting to the nucleus of the essence of yoga, and we are going to start in constructive resting pose on our backs. Have that strap or strap-like thing within hand's reach. So make your way onto your back. When I come into constructive rest, I take my feet about the width of my mat to let my inner knees come together, and then decide what placement for my hands makes the most sense for a feeling of groundedness. For me today, this feeling of having my hands on my body is what's calling to me as I really drop into this energy of arrival. And straight away thinking about the essence of yoga as being this unification of the body and the mind. So when we use a phrase like being where your feet are, that's really a turn of phrase that is referencing bringing the mind right into the moment where the body exists, which is always the present moment. Letting yourself arrive and soften here for 2 more rounds of breath before we do any movement. And we're going to start, as I mentioned, with a very compassionate hamstring stretch of Supta Padangusthasana. So we're going to bring the feet about hip distance apart. My inner knees will separate. I'm going to keep my left foot down as I first start by just drawing my right knee right into the center of my chest and just feel that invitation to bring my thigh in towards my torso. And then before I start to move into the hamstring stretch, I'm actually going to let my right knee slide up and in more towards my right shoulder and armpit area. And just take 1 more breath there. And then now I'll start to locate my strap or strap-like prop, loop it underneath the ball of my right foot and extend my right leg up towards the ceiling. And you want to give yourself enough strap to where the work is in the leg, but the shoulders, the neck, the head are all completely relaxed. No unnecessary tension there. I'm finding that kind of Goldilocks position where the sensation is not too much, not too little, but just enough. And just stay here with the left foot still planted on the mat for another couple breaths. And before we do anything else, notice if your right hip has kind of snuggled up into your right waist. And just extend your right hip forward to the bottom of your mat, kind of creating a little bit more space back in the right side of the waist. Now, you could keep your left foot here or extend your left leg long. Totally up to you. That's going to really amplify that sense of stretching. Just stay here 1 more breath. I'm going to open up to the B's, so I'm going to take both ends of my strap into my right hand. Your left hand could come onto the left thigh or out in a half T shape, and then sweep the right leg wide into like a lateral, more of a horizontal stretch, getting into the inseam, that kind of inner thigh and groin area. And as you take a few breaths here, think of reaching your feet in opposite directions. So right foot is moving horizontally, and that left foot is moving more forward to the front of your mat. Take 1 more breath in.
As you exhale, sweep your right leg back up towards the ceiling. Switch both ends of the strap into the left hand. Take your right hand into the crease of your right hip. Again, just reestablish that sense of the right hip moving to the front of the mat. Keep it anchored in a very small diagonal line. Draw across your body. Ooh, hello, IT band. Yes, yes, yes. Stay with this. 2 more breaths. Reminding myself, relaxing my face and my shoulders. And then I'm going to start to bend my right knee. I'm going to release my strap, and I'm going to rock and roll up to a brief seated position, finding Sukhasana. So I'm going to bend my knees. Right shin is in front of my left. Circle sweep the arms out and up. Finding a soft spinal twist here. Left hand to right knee, right arm behind you. Inhale, sit up tall. Exhale, twist around. Really turn the head and the gaze over the right shoulder. And then once you've arrived in your twist, maybe close the eyes and imagine the eyeballs actually rotating around to the right in their eye sockets. So you're actually continuing that twist up in the eyes. One more breath. And then as you look forward, slowly release that twist, reach the arms straight out in front of you, find a baby boat pose, Navasana, shins reaching up. And then tap your toes down towards the mat and lift your arms up overhead. Yes. Then lower the arms parallel and lift the shins parallel. 2 more times. Just tap the toes. They're barely, barely, barely touching the mat. Over, arms overhead. Then the arms back forward and the shins lift. Yes, last time. Barely kiss the mat with the toes. Sweep the arms up. Reach the arms forward. Now slide your legs long and roll back onto your back. Take a breath in Shavasana, let the body relax. And then bend both knees, bring the feet back onto the mat. Hug your left knee in towards your chest to give it a squeeze. Notice where your mind is right now. Be where your feet are. Let the left knee slide out and up more towards the left armpit and shoulder. Take a breath there. Locate the strap. Loop it around the ball of that left foot. Give yourself as much of the strap as you need to find that perfect Goldilocks stretch in the left hamstring. For me, my left hamstring is tighter, so I need a little more strap. No biggie. I'm going to check in with my left hip. I can already tell I've kind of snuck up into the left side of my waist, so I'm going to slide my left hip forward to the front of my mat. Then I'm going to reach my right leg long. Yes. Ooh, and then it's like I just turned up the volume on that stretch, so I'm going to deepen my breath. Staying right here in my body, because now is the practice of yoga, right here where my body is. Take both ends of the strap into the left hand. Right hand could come onto the top of the right thigh or out into that half T shape. And then sweep that left leg long into that lateral stretch. Reach those heels in opposite directions. Left heel horizontally out to the left. Right heel reaching forward to the front of your mat space. One more breath in here. Exhale, sweep that left leg back up to center. Lift the right arm and switch the strap into the right hand. Left arm comes out into that half T shape. And actually, I lied there. Take your left hand into the crease of your left hip. Actually, important work here. Give yourself a self-adjustment, that left hip reaching to the bottom of the mat. Yes. And then keep it anchored down as you draw that diagonal line across the body. Oh, I hardly have to move to feel that. I don't know about you, but it's like, wowza. Can we stay in the body even when it's intense? Not abandoning the sensation. Stay here. One more inhale. Start to bend that left knee. Release the strap. Just put it alongside your mat. Rock and roll up to seated. Left shin in front of right. Spinal twist. Sweep those arms out and up. Right hand to left knee. Left arm behind you. Inhale, sitting up tall. Exhale, turning around, really letting the chin rotate over that left shoulder. Then softly closing the eyes and imagining the eyes sliding in their eye sockets to the left, so the twist is continuing internally. One more breath in the spinal twist. And then start to look forward, releasing the twist. Second time through that abdominal work in Navasana, reaching forward, lean back, boat. Then tap those toes. They barely graze the mat. Reach the arms up. Arms float down. Lift the shins and tap. They float up. They float down. Last time, lifting shins. Cross the ankles, plant the hands, step back to all fours position. Find that all fours position, and we're going to start to add in some counting. 5 is the magic number today. Follow along. I know you will catch on quickly. As you inhale, start to lift into upward heroes, lifting the arms towards the ceiling. 2, 3, keep going to a back bend. 5, lower with control to child's. 2, 3, 4, 5. Shift forward to plank. 2, 3, 4, 5. Down dog. 2, 3, 4, 5. Back to plank. 2, 3, 4, 5. Puppy, knees down, arms forward, melt heart, melt head. 4, 5. Back to child's. 2, 3, 4, 5. 2 more rounds. Inhale, lift. 2, add a back bend. 4, 5. Down to child's. 2, 3, 4, 5. Like you're moving in slow motion to plank. 4, 5. Up to down dog. 2, 3, 4, 5. Back to plank. 2, 3, 4, 5. And to puppy, knees, heart. 3, 4, 5. And to child's. 2, 3, 4, 5. Last time through. 2, growing into the back bend. 5. And child's. 2, 3, 4, 5. Shifting plank. 2, 3, 4, 5. And to dog. 2, 3, 4, 5. Back to plank. 2, anchored by counting. 5. Back to puppy. 2, 3, 4, 5. And to child's. 2, 3, 4, 5. Pausing in the child's. Noticing how the breath and the body are feeling after having that counting kind of anchor you in the present moment. That counting carrying you through the transition of one pose to another. We're going to move into a sequence of standing postures where we will hold every posture for 1 minute. I've turned my body around so I can see the clock in front of me. The first pose in this sequence is downward facing dog. Start to make your way there in 3, 2, 1, and the 1 minute in the down dog has begun. As you settle into your dog, if you need a little movement at first, let that come in, almost like you're getting acquainted with the body. And then maybe mentally settling into the feet, feeling a sense of heaviness enter through the heels. All 10 toes are settled on the mat without gripping. There's a sense of pushing out and away through the palms of the hands. You're just over 30 seconds in, continuing about 20 more seconds in this downward facing dog. Notice, what does a minute feel like in that down dog? Final 5 seconds. Second pose is Anjaneyasana, low lunge. Start to lower the knees to the mat. I'm going to step my right foot forward, scoop my pelvis down and through, and then find a hand position that makes sense to me. I'm going to reach my arms up today. Minute has begun as we've settled into this pose. Take a moment to mentally connect with where your feet are. One foot facing down, one foot facing up, feeling the balance of energy in the body as you push down through the right foot and feel a sense of buoyancy and lift through the back left leg. Over 30 seconds into your lunge, notice if the mind wants to wander, staying where your feet are. About 2 more rounds of breath. Take in one more inhale. As you exhale, let the arms float down. Third pose in the sequence, Warrior Two. Tuck the left toes, lift the left knee, plant that left heel, and then windmill the arms up and open. Time has started, 1 minute in that Virabhadrasana 2. Perhaps one of the poses that immediately comes to mind when you think about being where your feet are. And yet as you connect with your feet in this pose, feeling this sense of opposition, of the feet rooting you down, a sense of earthenness, groundedness, stability, and strength. But from that groundedness gives you this freedom to find buoyancy, lightness in the body. The feet holding you here in this strong, expansive posture. Last 10 seconds. We'll shift into side angle pose. The variation today, either forearm to thigh, or because we're talking about being where our feet are, if you want a lower variation, take the right hand, wrap it around your right ankle. So it's really just your 2 feet that are grounding you in this posture. Left arm could reach overhead or could sweep to the front of your mat. Totally up to you. Almost at the halfway point of this 1 minute in our side angle posture, Utthita Parshvakonasana. And because we have a little more time in our poses today, noticing how quickly the mind wants to go somewhere else, staying in this present moment now is the practice of yoga. Last 10 seconds. Next posture in the sequence is triangle pose. I'm going to turn my gaze to look down. I'm going to do circle sweep of my left arm down, and then as my left arm sweeps back and up, I'm going to straighten my right knee. And today my offering is to keep the right hand on the shin or the foot. So again, the only 2 points of contact are the feet on the earth. The rest of the body is this kind of growth, this outcome of the anchoring of the feet. The more rooted and strong we are in the feet, the more freedom and spaciousness in the pose above it. Noticing the breath in the body, the breath connected to the body. So being where the feet are means being where you're breathing. 10 seconds. Prasarita Padottanasana, look down at the mat. Bend your right knee, bring both hands to your waist. Feet are going to turn to face the long edge of the mat. Lift up to a tabletop. Take a moment, feel rooted in your feet, and check in with the weight distribution. Allow about 60% or so of your body weight to be in the heels, the ankles, and the remaining 40% in the toes. Now start to fold forward, deepening into that prasarita. Feel the inner elbows coming together. Only 2 points of contact are the feet. As you let yourself shift slightly into the toes, you can broaden your sitting bones and let the crown of the head become heavier. Maybe it finds the mat. "20 seconds here. Last full deep breath. Coming into our pigeon position. Walk the hands to the front of the mat. Ooh, nice to have hands on the mat. Right foot to the left side of the mat as you drop into your pigeon. Lower the forearms to your mat. Take your left forearm at a 45-degree angle. Bring your right fingertips out to the side. Push into your right fingertips and twist the torso around to the right. Just as we did in our opening warm-up posture, imagine the right hip sliding back towards the back of the mat. Think of reaching the crown of the head diagonally forward. So as much as the spine is twisting, it's lengthening. One more breath in the twist, and then the final 30 seconds you get to fold forward. So as you exhale, release the twist and let your body soften forward. I'm keeping my chest lifted to monitor the time. Just over 10 seconds in that pigeon. Next 1 minute is coming into our plank pose. As you lift the palms, you step back. You could have knees up or down in your plank. That time has begun. Settling into the balls of the feet. And while we're literally being where our feet are in today's practice, the feet are also a metaphor for whatever the points of contact are in a posture. And so right now, the hands are just as much the feet as the balls of your feet are. You're in the final 20 seconds here. Noticing how your mind may want to distract yourself with something that is perhaps more fun than staying in a plank. I can't imagine what. Take one more breath. No, we are not doing chaturanga for a minute. That would be ridiculous. So shift your weight slightly forward, lower through chaturanga, but then go ahead and come all the way down to the mat. We will find a cobra for a minute. So deciding if you want a baby or a medium cobra, I would not suggest a high cobra. Already about 10 seconds in. And you may notice kind of straight away how maintaining a cobra for some period of time is quite challenging. And so you may find yourself needing to offer up some self-compassion to actually soften the shape. Maybe the curvature of the spine becomes lessened so that you focus more on stamina in the posture than depth for a short period of time. You have about 20 seconds remaining here in that Bhujangasana. Stamina over extended flexibility. One more full breath. We come to child's pose for a minute. So as you push into your hands, you pass through all fours and you melt to that child's pose.
This child's pose, and that minute has started, is this kind of pivot point between one side of the body and the other. It's also a time for you to really check in energetically, mentally, physically. I think it was very purposeful that the very first word of the Yoga Sutras was the word now. This recognition that whatever is present for you in this moment is the practice of yoga. Last 15 seconds in this child's pose. So being where your feet are means that you're always connected to your practice. We shift forward to our downward facing dog, tucking the toes and finding the dog. And again, we have our literal feet that we are connected with here, but also the palms of the hands serving as the anchor points in this posture. So being where our feet are means attuning to these points of contact equally. Embodying them intentionally. Not running away into distraction. 20 seconds. Last breath in Adho Mukha Svanasana. Next pose will be our low lunge. So my left foot is going to step forward. I'm going to set up my low lunge. You could choose to have the same arm expression or a different one here. The minute has begun. I find that this pose for me gives me a great opportunity to tap into the kind of opposition that's always present in yoga. One area of the body is always opening, another closing, another pushing down while another's lifting up, another stretching forward while another's reaching back. And I can feel this opposition in so many ways in this powerful low lunge, and connect to how I find myself suspended between the opposition. Rooted in the present moment by being aware of everything that's going on. Last breath. Next pose is Warrior Two. So I'm going to bring my hands down. I'm taking my time in the transitions, lifting the back knee, planting the heel. Windmilling my body up. I'm going to turn around so I can continue looking at the clock. Your time here has started. You're already about 5 seconds in. And as we talk about kind of opposition here, on the one hand, I'm thinking of squeezing my front heel towards my back arch. On the other hand, I'm thinking of pushing my left knee forward while reaching my right inner thigh up and out. So there's all of this kind of oppositional qualities happening that actually solidify me right here in the present moment. You're in the last 15 seconds in Virabhadrasana 2. Holding that tension of both things simultaneously is the essence of our yoga practice. Last breath in, we're coming into side angle, and the options today were forearm to thigh or left hand gently wrapping around that bottom ankle so that we maintain just those feet as the contact points. Maybe sweep that right arm overhead. And I'm immediately noticing this is my weaker side. It's my weaker knee, my weaker hip. So I'm needing to exert more effort to do the same thing on this side. which also means I'm going to exert more effort on deepening my breath as a support system for the effort I'm putting forth. We've got about 15 more seconds here. Being with the effort, being where my feet are, a last breath. Now I'm coming into triangle pose. I'm going to look down, sweep my right arm down, and as I start to lift my right arm, I straighten my left leg. Again, maintaining just my feet as the anchor points today. Now is the practice of yoga. I had a teacher once that told me that the body is our greatest ally in our yoga practice because the body only exists in one place, and that is the present moment. We may have hopes for the body in the future. We have memories of the body in the past. You have about 20 more seconds here, but the actual alive physical body is only right here, right now, in this present moment. Be where your feet are, 2 breaths. Prasarita Padottanasana, turn the gaze down. I'm going to bring my hands to my waist. I bend my left knee so I can turn all 10 toes to face the long edge. Hands could stay on the waist or interlace the fingers behind the back. And then take that chest expansion, letting the arms rinse up and overhead. Again, still only the feet as the 2 points of contact. If you have that shoulder opening, shrug the shoulders away from the earlobes and then try to release the arms a little bit more deeply overhead. Ooh, yes. About 30 more seconds here. Prasarita Padottanasana, D with chest expansion. Notice that weight distribution in the feet. A little over 10 seconds. Give yourself one more breath in, transitioning to the plank, walking the hands to the front of the mat. I'm sorry, pigeon pose. So we're walking hands to the front of the mat. My left foot comes over to the right side of the mat. Wouldn't want to miss that. Settling down. And then we took this twist. So my right forearm comes across the body, left fingertips out to the side, and then I'm going to twist around to the left. And again, as much as I'm twisting, I'm lengthening my spine diagonally. So I'm finding length as much as I am depth. You have about 10 more seconds in the twist. Time for one more full inhalation. And then the exhale is this opportunity to soften and come into the forward fold for the second half of the pigeon. Noticing how time in these postures feels with this very intentional 1-minute mark in every shape. Time for about 1 or 2 more breaths here. On your next inhale, start to lift up and build your plank position. I'm going to start the timer in about 3, 2, 1. That 1 minute in your plank has started, knowing that knees could be down in your plank. We just want the essence of that plank to feel stable and strong. And as silly as it may sound, maybe try to make your face look happy to be here. Maybe even just smiling internally at all of the muscles that are holding you here and doing such an incredible job. You're in the last 15 seconds. You've got this. Kind of internally being like, look at you go. You're amazing. One more deep breath. Now see if you can control that exit through the chaturanga to the mat, and then find that cobra position, or if you're wanting something more passive, a sphinx. And that minute has started. And just over and over again, making note of how often the mind goes somewhere other than where the body is. And you don't need to add on any critique or judgment to that, that noticing. If anything, just be like, wow, that's really interesting information to notice about myself. How quickly my mind, monkey jumps from one tree limb to another. And then you just begin again. You're just like, okay, so we come back to where my feet are. We come back to the body. You're in your last 10 seconds here. Training the mind one breath at a time. Child's pose is next, sliding the palms back and the hips come up and back. 1 minute in the child's. When we really recognize what's happening in our body right now, then we really gain clarity around all the things we have to be grateful for. There's a sense of awakening to our lives, being fully present for what's happening here and now. Because the only place our life really exists is in the present moment. Last 10 seconds in the child's pose. Take one more breath here. We're going to release the 1 minute counting. You'll use the next breath or two to transition forward and onto your back and set up for a bridge flow. So we'll bring the feet about hip distance apart. If you prefer them slightly wider and you know that about your body, certainly do that. And start with the palms down alongside the body. We're going to return to that 5-beat count. As you inhale, start to lift up into your bridge, but also lift the arms all the way up and overhead until the backs of the hands tap the floor. And then lower arms and spine simultaneously back down to the mat. Adding in the counting, we lift up and over. 2, 3, 4, hands touch, empty. 2, 3, 4, 5, we land. Again, lift. 2, 3, 4, 5, and lower. 2, 3, 4. We have 2 more rounds and lift. 2, 3, 4, 5, and lower. 2, 3, 4, 5. Last time. 2, 3, 4, 5, and stay. As you breathe here with your arms overhead, your spine lifted in the bridge, imagine pushing down into your feet even more
Imagine making the most perfect footprint into wet cement. Every ridge of your skin being kind of captured in the cement, pushing the feet down, solidifying that perfect footprint, holding for 2 more breaths. As you take 1 more inhale, filling up all the way to the tops of the lungs. And then as you exhale, lowering, 2, 3, 4, 5. Walk the soles of the feet together. Let your knees open like butterfly wings, Supta Baddha Konasana. Hand placement up to you, as it could be on the lower belly or alongside the body or overhead. As we close with a gentle twist, make sure the arms are not in the way. Imagine your legs like a clamshell, and you'll close that clamshell by lifting your right knee and thigh and gently stacking it over the left for a very soft spinal twist. Maybe lifting the head and turning it over towards the right arm. Using your next couple of breaths to open the body back into that supine butterfly. Not rushing the transition. I need another breath here. Whenever your body is ready, closing that clamshell with the left knee and thigh, landing on top of the right, maybe turning left head. And then letting the body open up, knowing that the next posture I'll be calling is Shavasana. If there's a different posture that your body needs before you come into that place of rest, now would be the time to take it. As we arrive in our Shavasana, we're going to do 6 rounds of breath that incorporate very soft sound. The first 2 rounds will make a shh sound. The second 2 rounds will make a hiss sound. And the last 2 rounds will make a sound. Take a full inhale, a complete exhale. Inhale fully. As you exhale, make a soft again, inhale. And next 2 rounds are hissing. Inhale. In breath. Last 2 rounds with a soft ha. Last round, inhale. Let the mouth softly close. Resting in your body. Resting in the present moment. Now is the practice of yoga.
Giving yourself one more round of breath exactly as you are. And then beginning to awaken from Shavasana by deepening the breath. Inviting subtle movement through your extremities. Maybe reaching the arms overhead for like a full body stretch. And then in your own way and your own time, returning to a comfortable seat. Bringing the palms of the hands together, I will leave you with words from Rolf Gates, writer and yoga teacher. He says, asana practice is an immersion into the now. The work we do on our yoga mats teach us to commit wholeheartedly to the present moment. We are finding that the only result worth achieving is being here now. And all other positive outcomes are byproducts of our present moment awareness. May the entire universe be filled with peace and joy, love and light, which sounds like these 4 words in Sanskrit. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Victory to all of our practices.